Hi guys, I'm Chris Gordon. I'm 35 years old from Queens, New York, and I'm sponsored by Technofiber for rackets and iRackets for shoes and apparel. And I'm looking forward to answering all the questions from Cheeky Monkey Squash today and hopefully giving you guys a little bit of insight into my life as a professional squash player. So let's get going. So for the last year during the pandemic, my daily life was pretty disciplined. I'd wake up every morning between 5 and 6 in the morning and have breakfast, do some prehab exercises, do some mental exercises to prepare myself for the day, and then I'd head down to the squash club, do a solo practice or drills or games with a hitting partner, and then I'd head straight to the gym to do weights and finish off with a quick burst of cardio, and get back home for around 1 in the afternoon, have some lunch, relax, and then just spend the afternoon taking it easy, getting ready for the next day, doing a little bit of recovery work to get my body where it needed to be to go through that same grind over again the next day. So my sporting hero is a American distance runner called Steve Prefontaine. He was one of the original Nike athletes, was famous for taking control of races and running from the front, and his philosophy was you had to leave everything out there, that if you didn't give it your best, it wasn't really worth doing, and that a race was a work of art. He ended up being a really inspirational figure in track and field in the US, because unfortunately he died really young, so we never really got to see what his true potential would have been. But I took a huge amount of inspiration from him, and there's actually a really amazing movie about him called Without Limits, so that's definitely worth checking out if you get a chance. I do a lot of meditation. I meditate every day, actually, and I don't necessarily do a huge duration, but I try and keep the consistency and never miss a day, sometimes even twice a day, and just short 10-minute bursts to just keep topping myself up and making sure I'm calm so I'm able to think clearly when I'm training and playing, and that I'm not letting little things make me anxious when I'm in the process of playing. In terms of some funny stuff that I've seen on tour, the life on tour is incredible. Getting to compete is really special, and I think one of the unique things about squash is the camaraderie we have between athletes. We go to a lot of fairly unusual destinations, and a lot of times we have to spend a lot of time as a group alone together, so we get to know each other pretty well. I've been on tour almost 20 years, and I think I can't really pinpoint one really funny experience, but what I've always really enjoyed and has always been a great laugh are the breakfasts with the boys. I remember, especially in my early days on tour, you'd get guys going down to breakfast and having like 3-4 hour breakfasts, and just, 5-6 guys sitting around a table talking and sharing jokes and, analyzing what tournaments they were playing and stuff. So that definitely brought me a lot of pleasure and was a lot of fun. In terms of what other sport I would play if I had the chance, it would definitely be ice hockey. And even a little secret about myself is I actually play a lot of ice hockey recreationally. For the last 10 years, I've had a skate almost once a week. A group of friends of mine rent some ice, and we basically play a pickup game every week. It's full pads, no contact, so pretty safe. Fortunately, I haven't really had any real injuries that have caused problems for my squash, other than taking a puck here to the face. So I've had a couple stitches in there, got my tooth went through there. But other than that, nothing too major. And it's actually really helped my squash a lot, because it's helped me really remember what the right reasons for playing sport are, that it's really pure enjoyment and it's because you love being active, love being competitive, and love being out there with your friends. So in terms of preparing for a match, I'm pretty ritualistic. I try and follow the same pattern no matter where I am in the world. If I'm playing in the evening, I always try and get a really light hit in the morning. Just 20 minutes, 25 minutes just to flush the legs out a little bit, and mostly just so I feel sharp in my racket work. And then I'll usually eat about 3.5 hours before I play. And I like to get to the club a little over an hour before my match, and start warming up an hour before. And I do a lot of flexibility, a lot of mobility, little bit of visualization and breathing, just to get myself in a good place mentally, and just try and stay calm. And I'll even chat to a few people just so I'm not too stressed out. I like to try and keep it fairly light and fairly relaxed, and hopefully when I step on court, I'm firing on all cylinders and super hungry. Obviously, after you play, win or lose, you got to recover, because if you win, you've got the next round tomorrow. And if you lose, you've got training tomorrow. So either way, you're working hard. In terms of recovery, some of the tools I use, depending on where I am and what's available to me, would be ice baths. I've had a lot of success with those, just to get blood flow and reduce inflammation. If I'm struggling with something in my body, we'll do a bit of TENS electric stimulation on the muscle or something. A lot of these massage guns are becoming more prevalent. I pretty much use all the tools available to me, and even some events, if I'm playing for the US, we'll have a physio there, and if we have a physio with us, I absolutely always take advantage of that, no matter how hard my match is, because just flushing any lactic acid out of the legs makes a big difference. And the older I get, the more miles I put on my body. I got to really be focused and cognizant of keeping it fresh and keeping it as prepared as possible to compete. So let's talk about what's in my squash bag. So in my Tecnifibre squash bag, right now I've got 5 Tecnifibre 130 Carboflex rackets. I have a pair of iRacket shoes. I've got a stretching rope. I've got a elastic band that I use for some activation exercises. I've got a little lacrosse ball that I use to massage my feet out, stimulate my feet. I've got a foam roller in there that I use in my warm-up routine before I play. And then I've got some energy gels, I've got some protein bars, extra contacts, stencil and stencil ink. And then another thing I have in there that's super important is I have an arm sleeve and a knee sleeve in case I dive on court and I get scraped and cut. It doesn't happen that often, but when it happens, and stopping the bleeding is always a pain in the neck. So if you have a sleeve, a black sleeve, it makes it a lot easier, and then you don't have that on your mind, worrying about the blood coming back. And when I go to a match, I bring 5 playing shirts with me, some shorts, and plenty of wristbands to get me through. And then what else do we have? We have some electrolytes and BCAAs that I'll be drinking in between games. So that's my squash bag. Anyway, it was a real pleasure being with you guys at Cheeky Monkey Squash today, and I hope you guys are out there training hard and working hard, getting ready for the next tournament or the next league match. Peace, guys.